belt kits. Love them or hate them, they definitely have a place when you want to carry more kit that will comfortably fit into your pockets. You need to get to that kit quickly and you don't need a full rucksack. And for me at least, they also had a surprising advantage, but I'll talk about that at the end. And just for reference, I bought all of this kit with my own money, so I'm not trying to show you any products. I just think all of this is really good kit. At the heart of the system is the belt, and this one was an absolute bargain at £11.73 from Military EU. It's made by a company called 8 Fields, and for the price it is fantastic quality. It far exceeded anything that I was expecting. It's made from 1000 denier nylon, so it feels really quite tough. It is taped all around the edges here, so this is designed to stop it fraying and hopefully make it last a little bit longer. The Molle stitching looks really good, looks really fair. It doesn't look like that's going to go anywhere, so that looks really good too. Even the buckle here is really sturdy and clunky, and it feels like it's not going to go anywhere. It has that reassuring clunk when you put it in, so it does feel really, really tough. Now for that price, it actually comes with a harness as well. It's not the Y-shaped harness, it's one that crosses over, but it is very comfortable and it does work. I've just taken it off because it feels a little bit worry when you're wearing it. But because of the shape that this is, where you've got the kind of, show you the back here, where you've got this kind of definite shape to it, then as long as you've got a waist and you're not carrying too much weight, then it just stays on your hips anyway and tends not to slip down. And I've been using this for a little while now and I'm having absolutely no problem. As long as I put the harness into the small of my back, I can clip it on and then it's just not slipping down at all, and it's been absolutely brilliant. And the belt system would be completely useless without a couple of pouches to actually store your kit. So I've gone for these, which are the Helikon-tex General Purpose Cargo pouches, and these are perfect for what I want to use them for. They're about 1.5 litres each, which is just the right size, and they're made from 500D Cordura material, so they feel pretty good quality. And I got these from the Military EU website for, I think it was £10.31 each. I got them in the half price sale, and at that price I think they are really good quality. They are a definite step up from the previous Temu or AliExpress pouches that I was using. I found they tend to wear out within a couple of years. These feel like they'll probably last quite a bit longer. Now they have Molle strapping on the outside, so you can add pouches to your pouches. I can't see myself using that personally, but maybe you could use it to secure a safety light or a glow stick if you need to be seen at night. So potentially, you know, there's a use there. And on the inside of each pouch, you've got a hook, or a loop should I say, where you can attach a lanyard so you can secure things to stop things from getting lost if they fall out. You've also got 2 little elastic loops so you can secure things like pocket knives or a torch in there so you can get to them easily and not lose them. And then on the other side there's a little Velcro panel so you can attach one of the Helikon-tex organiser panels, which gives you a couple more elastic loops and then little pockets so you can kind of organise your gear if you want to. And I think at 1.5 litres, these are absolutely about the right size for me in terms of what I want to carry. So in terms of what I do want to carry, I have the poncho in this pocket on the right hand side, because I tend to walk, when I'm out with the dogs, I don't want to carry a rucksack, and I don't like wearing a waterproof because I get kind of hot and clammy. So having a poncho there is a really good compromise. That is the perfect size to carry like an MFH or a Miltech poncho in there, military style poncho. Works there brilliantly, and I can get to it easily if it's raining. On the left hand side, I've got my first aid kit. That's always handy when I'm with my dogs because they're always getting injured. So having the first aid kit there is really useful. I actually put the first aid kit in a separate pouch inside here, so I can just open it up, lift the whole pouch out, and then I'm not having to sort of search around for things. So that's a really good tip if you've got to go for this kind of system. Now, I mentioned the dogs a lot, and that is going to be the primary use for this belt system. I'm going to use it out when I'm walking the dogs. And so I've kind of customised it for that use, you know, in general. So I've also got a dog whistle, which I've put on the left hand side here, and it's just tucked away in a little bit of material here, and it's attached with a lanyard. So if I need to recall the dogs quickly, got the whistle, I can give them a quick blast and get them back in. And it's handy having that so accessible, because when I need to recall my dogs, it's usually because they're flying it like a fair missiles towards something they shouldn't be. So being able to recall them quickly is really good. And on the right hand side, I've got my treat pouch. I've gone for the rubber type because when you're using like cooked meats, you can just put this in the dishwasher afterwards and I'll wash them and keep them hygienic. And having this on the pouch is really useful because, again, it's all about timing when you're rewarding dogs. So I can just get my hand in here, pull a treat out and reward good behaviour. So really, really useful for walking the dogs. And I think this is a really good loadout for that. Now, if I needed to add more kit, for example, in the summertime when it starts getting warmer, I'll need to carry water. What I'll probably do is just swap out the poncho and stick my water bottle pouch on there instead. And I think that's the beauty about having a Molle system like this, is you can completely customise it in order to fit what you need. I have got a couple of the Helikon-tex E&E pouches as well. They're a bit larger at 2 litres, but I think if I was to have those on the back as well, I'd end up looking like Batman. And at that point, I'm probably better off with a rucksack. But just being able to carry the essentials like this is actually really useful. And talking about the dogs, I almost forgot the most important pouch, which is this one, which is the Helikon-tex Bushcraft dump pouch. And that's very aptly named because this is what I'm going to use to actually carry my dog's poo around. So I'm not walking around with a bag of poo in my hands, which is never particularly fun and not particularly, doesn't make you look cool, if that makes sense. But a responsible thing to do. And the great thing about this one is it just folds away when you're not using it. But after the dogs have done their business, you can just kind of open up the little Velcro, it just rolls out, and you've got a pouch there to store the poo bags in there. So really quite useful, and it saves you having to carry it in your hands. Now, I've been using the system for a couple of weeks now, and so far it's been really good in practice. I find as long as I have the belt nice and high and put this up in the small of my back, then it doesn't slip down, it just stays where it's meant to, and it is absolutely fine. I mean, I'm not carrying a lot of weight on here. I think if I was, it might start to slip down, but in that case, I can just reattach the harness and then that'll stop that from happening. So it's been really good for that. Now, one little advantage I completely forgotten about, which is really good to the system, is the old Brecken pocket. Because you've got the belt here, which stops anything from falling down, if I need to take my gloves off to kind of deal with the dogs or pick something up, I can just shove my gloves into my jacket here, and then it's not going to slip or lose anywhere because this belt stops it all from falling. So having that Brecken pocket is really good. So that's definitely an advantage. And I found in general, just not having anything across my chest, not having anything across my shoulders has been a little bit more comfortable to walk around. And it's a small difference, but I actually do feel like I'm breathing a little bit more easily too. So it's a very comfortable system to wear. Right at the start of this video, I said that this system had one surprising advantage for myself, and I'll tell you about that now. But it's a bit of a long-winded story. Back in April, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I had a bit of a health scare where the doctor thought I'd had a heart attack and I got referred to a cardiologist. Now, they did all the tests, I had a CAT scan and everything. They couldn't find anything wrong with my heart, but I was still getting these symptoms, these pains in my chest. Now, bit of backstory is I've got a couple of dogs, and one of them, Nova, she's a big old girl at 7 stone. She's so tall I can actually stroke her back without having to bend down. And she loves squirrels, particularly the crunchy ones. And so when I'm walking somewhere where I've got to keep her on lead, I tend to wear a sling across my chest because it's got an anchor point on and it takes the strain off my arms. Because when she goes, she really goes. And I think what's actually happened is Nova's been pulling on the harness and actually just caused sort of injury to my chest area. And that's what was causing my symptoms. Because after I got sort of, got referred to the cardiologist, I was paying a lot more attention and I noticed the sling was making it worse. I didn't think it caused the issue, so I stopped wearing it for a while anyway, just while it kind of healed and got better. And I noticed, over a period of a few weeks, it got better to the point where my symptoms just went away and I wasn't thinking about them anymore. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they started doing some forestry work where I am now, so I have to put Nova back on the lead for part of the walk. So I got the sling thing out again. Within a couple of days, my symptoms came back. So I'm convinced now that this whole problem I had with my heart or my chest was actually just having 100 pounds of very excitable dog trying to catch squirrels. You can't make this stuff up, can you? So in summary then, I think this is a really great system and it could be beneficial to a lot of people. I think particularly if you're a dog walker or a dog owner, having something like this to have your essentials and not having a 100-pound dog pulling on your chest is probably a good thing. So thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.